Hi, Leon. Thank you for taking this interview. My name is Lula, and
Oliver.
it is a pleasure talk to you. Uh, El Michels Affair has gone from to playing a Gutan Clan with string and soul to creative own unique sound. How would you describe the evolution of your music from your early records today?
Um, I think it's I've basically been doing the same thing, but my influences kind of like brought in throughout the years, and working with as many people as I've worked with, like I obviously take stuff from them, so it's just uh sort of natural evolution, something I've never really like thought about like what it is, but it's if you listen to my early records, they're not that far off than the newer ones.
Yeah. Okay, your style moves between classic soul, experimental jazz, and psicodelia.
Hmm.
Where does the need to explore such diverse sounds come from?
I think it's just the fact that I love music. I love, like, my favorite thing is finding music that I've never heard before,
Mhm.
and discovering new stuff, and inevitably, like, the way I listen to music is I always, whenever I hear something I like, I listen to it for ideas. So just the more I listen, the broader my taste gets, and the more influences like creep into my own music. So it's just yeah, like I always get inspired by music first. It's rather than like I never really write songs like because I'm feeling happy or I'm feeling sad. It's more like I'll hear a song and that's what will inspire me.
Okay, thank you. New York is central to your music, but in energy and diversity. What role does the city play in this artistic identity?
New York.
Yeah.
Well, I think New York's an amazing place because if you live in New York City, you have there is like an access that you have that a lot of people don't. It's like the same thing as Mexico City. I mean, if you grow up in a small town,
Okay.
you have to like rely on maybe you're an older person to put you on. But in New York City, there's so much access to different types of music and different energy that inevitably it's like it creeps its way into the music.
Yeah, cool. It's great. 24 hours sports has a very cinematic feels and almost like the soundtrack and twin imaginary films.
uh
What was the visions behind the album?
well, I was sort of like I started playing like organized sports. I joined like a softball team, and that was like a bit of an inspiration because um I started drawing parallels to I was having a lot of fun doing it. And I started drawing parallels to music, and to me it shares a lot of the same like DNA, where it's like this group, like music is really like a group sport. Like you have a team that and everybody does their part, and you're all kind of like working towards the same thing. And so that was like the genesis of the idea. I was like, well, I want to make a record about sports because, or just like conceptually, like it's about sports because I thought that for some reason it inspired me in music. So that was the sort of like thematic thing that kicked it off, and then sonically I was listening to a lot of like MF Doom and like 70s gospel records, and I knew that I wanted the record to sound like that was a sort of that was the MF Doom was like kind of the North Star for like the sonic quality of the record.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, I mean, for me, like every time I make a record, I have to have like a concept. For El Michels Affair, I have to have like a specific concept in order to like give me parameters, to make the music. Because otherwise, like, I do listen to so much stuff, I can just go crazy. So I have to have like I have to design. like parameters and a concept of which I can sort of like base everything off of. And so I kind of like made up this sports world that I could like fit the music into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a strong interplay between analog and digital in this record.
Uh-huh.
How do you balance the nostalgic of vintage sounds with the modern experimentation?
Yeah, I mean that's like that's always my goal because I uh I love uh I love old music. I love that's the stuff I listen to. I listen to new music too, but not really that much. But at the same time, I never want to make music that is just purposely trying to sound old. It's more interesting to me if it sounds like it's made now. But obviously, my process is like is
Yeah.
has a lot of analog stuff, so um, inherently it like will sound analog and older because I use like tape and I use like old vintage instruments and stuff. But yeah, I mean that's the balance. Like I always try to make music that goes between like modern and old.
Yeah, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
The title 24 Hours Sport is open to interpretation, no?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you, and how does it connect in the concept of the album, this moment, this
Yeah.
music?
I mean, to be totally honest, like um the 24-hour sports, like I just like the way those words sound together, you know? And so it started just because I liked the way that sounded. But, if I had to like if I had to like sort of put a meaning to it, it's like what I'm saying about sports is like kind of like similar to music. And it's like music for me is like all the time. It's 24 hours. It's
Hey,
everything. So conceptually that's what it was.
how do you envision of the future of the Michels Affair? Well, the Michels Affairs, more experimental directions, or the return of the roots of the classic music?
um I think like experimental, like I want every record I do to be like completely different. I don't, like
Okay.
I never want to. It's not fun for me to like repeat myself. So like the next record I do is going to sound nothing like 24 Hour Sports.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Finally, inviting everyone watching also to listen to your music and follow you on social media.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you so
Your
much.
album is incredible, and
Oh,
it's been a pleasure talking with you.
thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.